morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday. I just got back from my Pilates class, made a little smoothie, and today I'm not feeling the whole sewing thing. I've been sewing for like so many days straight, and I feel like I just need a bit more restful, like, computer day. That being said, I will probably sew at some point, but it is January, and if you are a person who is employed, or at least happens to be self-employed, it's tax season, and I'm gonna be honest, I've been avoiding it. Usually I'm like super on top of it, like, and I get it done like first week of January, but I've been so busy the past couple weeks, I haven't had time to just like sit and do my taxes. I don't personally have an accountant or anybody who does it for me. I've done it myself the past 2-3 years. I guess this would be my third year. Yeah, this would be my third year. So now I kind of understand, I have a system down. So I'll somewhat show you what I do. Obviously, this is not legal tax advice by any means, but at least I'll show you how I get organized to kind of get everything in check, because at the end of the day, like, the biggest part of doing your taxes if you're self-employed is just keeping track of all of your finances, all the money you've spent, things that are business expenses, etc. And I feel like I have a decent system down for that. So I'm really excited to show you guys what I do. But if you have the means to hire an accountant, I most definitely suggest that as well. That being said, I'm gonna finish this smoothie and then we will sit down and get to it. Okay, so I'm super excited to also say that this video is sponsored by Epson. I'm so excited. Last year I collaborated with them and they sent me the Rapid Receipt Smart Organizer, and it has been game changing. I've used it consistently for my business since then, and now that it is tax season is when it really comes to play. So basically the Rapid Receipt Scanner scans the receipts that you have, and I really like it because it can adjust to any size of receipt. So you can do, like, you know, there's standard smaller receipts or like bigger like invoice type receipts. Anything goes. You can just adjust the little sliders on the sides and it scans it so easily, so quickly. And I also love that it has so many integrations. You can integrate it to QuickBooks, to Google Drive, you can email them to yourself, just download them on your computer. There's just so many options on where to place your files. I personally like to have them on Google Drive just so I can like manage them, kind of organize them by folders. But it is so game changing to just make sure you can A, keep track of all of your receipts, but also be able to just like get rid of the actual paper receipt after you scan it, because they get so bulky. I used to just keep them in like folders like this for like 2020 and 2021 when I was doing it. Literally just had 2 big folders like this for all the receipts I had of that year, and now I don't even need to have one of these because anytime I get a receipt, scan it in, and then it's just filed and I can reference back to it. I personally like to organize them by month, so I'll do like a January 2023 folder and then put those receipts in there and like etc., just so I can reference back to like the time period that, you know, I'm looking for. That's personally how I like to do it. It also automatically extracts and organizes any sort of information on the receipts, which is a really cool feature. And you can rapidly scan up to 100 pages at a time and up to 35 per minute, which is kind of a lot. If you're new to the business world and doing your like taxes for the first time or whatever, I learned during my first like 6 months of business when I had to do my taxes that it's very important to keep track of everything, because you can write things off as a business expense, etc., and categorize things. So that's why it's really important to keep all of your receipts, and obviously being able to quickly scan them and not have to like take pictures of them or upload them, whatever. Like, it's just such a smooth process. Makes life so much easier as an entrepreneur, business owner, somebody who does their own taxes. But even if you do have an accountant, like, you can send them all the files. Quickly just share that Google Drive link with them. So easy. So I'm gonna have a link for you guys down below if you want to check it out. It literally is life-changing and just so good. Could not recommend it enough. I've had it for, I believe, a year now, and I really, really do love it. So I'll have a link for you guys down below if you want to check it out. And that being said, we're gonna do a little bit of our taxes today. Maybe not fully. I don't think I can get them all done today, but we can start categorizing things. Okay, listen, it is the next day. Yesterday did not go as planned, but we are here today and we're gonna do this. So yesterday I showed you guys my Epson Rapid Receipt Scanner, and obviously that is how I organize all of my receipts, invoices, things like that that I receive, and I have them all filed away in my Google Drive so that I can reference back to when I'm looking at all of my expenses. But I want to show you how I like also keep track of all of my expenses, because I started doing this I think like halfway through last year, and then I did it fully, well, I guess halfway through like 2021, and then I started fully doing it in 2022. So I did it the entire year and it was so helpful. It wasn't terribly hard to keep up with either, because that's what I was scared of just being like, oh my god, I'm gonna forget how to do this every single month, or like forget to do it every single month, whatever. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I feel like I just sat down like once a month and like did it. Even if it was like a month and a half later, like I just sat down and, you know, did it and it was quick and whatever. I feel like I now understand my little system better now. So since I don't have like a huge business right now, my business and my personal banking is all still just combined. I don't have it separated just yet. So the way I like to do it is tracking quite literally all of my expenses, personal, business, all in one. And then I'll start categorizing whether it's a business expense or not. But it's also just helpful as somebody who is self-employed to go through absolutely all of my finances and see like maybe where I'm spending a lot of money, where maybe I could be saving money, etc. Or just like generally see, you know, trends in how I spend. Which, to be honest, I thought that maybe I would see like, oh, I spent too much on this or whatever, but I feel like I'm actually pretty good with my money and I don't feel like I'm overspending anywhere, which is actually also good to know. But I also then keep track of my income every month and am able to see that like balance of income versus outcome and see if that aligns. I mean, obviously there's months where like maybe my income is a little bit higher. There's months where it's like pretty parallel, and there's other months where my income is lower than what I've spent. Shout out my credit card. But one thing I will say about that is that I've always paid off my credit card on time. I've never had interest on it. So I am actually really, really careful about what I put on there. So I only ever joke around about that, but I am actually really on top of it. Anyway, I downloaded this template for like drive sheets, whatever. It's like a spreadsheet. I downloaded it from one of my favorite YouTubers, Natalia. I will leave her link down below if I can find it. I don't want to like take credit for this because it's hers, but obviously I did move it around a little bit so that it makes sense for me and like my expenses. So let me show you guys. So this is where I track everything. This is where I put the transaction, like the name of it, what it's from, if it's like, I don't know, Starbucks, Ralph's, whatever. And then I put the cost, and then I have the category drop down, which drops down into all of these categories. And sometimes I'll be adding more or less of them. Like, I don't remember if these are the one, well, these are pre me moving to LA. So now I need to put like my LA rent, whatever. This is an old one. This is kind of the vibe, and I have them categorized like kind of like home, food and things, random like travel, entertainment things, and then this is like just businessy things, whether it's like a professional service, YouTube expense, podcast expense, or an NTA expense. And then I do have a separate spreadsheet where I then take all of my business expenses and then further categorize them, whether it's like supplies, legal services, shipping, things like that. So I do further do that. This is how I categorize it first. And then over here I have my income. Since I have like the most random income ever, the only consistent one ever is YouTube, so I always have that one there. Then I have like PayPal, Stripe, which are from my shop, which I don't always have something coming in from. Styling, again, not something I do every single month necessarily, and same with sponsors. So sometimes these switch up if I do any other random things, but that's where I'll put it, and then I can get the total here and then the total over here as well. And then I don't want you to actually see my numbers, so maybe I'll blur this or something, but here's how I then track like income versus expenses. This was my last year. As you can see, it was very up and down. Clearly this is when I moved, but you know, it picked back up. But yeah, business is just very up and down. So that's what it ended up looking like. So anyway, that is what I do. That's been so helpful. And then obviously being able to reference back all of my receipts if need be on my like scanner and stuff is also really helpful. Just because also sometimes on like bank statements, it'll show up as like a weird title, and then I have to like go back and be like, what day was this? What was I doing that day? And then I'm like, oh, it links to whatever, this store that I bought this at or whatever. But sometimes it just like comes up with weird names and I have to be like, huh? So it's nice to actually have the receipts as well to reference back to. So that is how I manage my taxes, because I feel like I do actually get asked quite a bit about that. And obviously I am no professional, but I will say having this organized really does help. And again, it also just helps on the personal side of things to figure out where you're spending a lot of money, but also on the business end of things. Once I take those and then put it into, I will show you. This is how I categorize my business expenses. So fabric, trim, supplies, Joann's, when I used to go to Joann's all the time. That one I can kind of switch out. Equipment, shipping, patterns, tag. This was a manufacturer I was going to work with that I don't work with, obviously, so that I could take out. Marketing material, shipping, supplies, camera, equipment. Epidemic Sound is what I use for copyright-free music, but I have it for both my YouTube channel and my podcast. Graphics, office supplies, taxes, legal services. These are all the people I've had work for me previously. None of them work for me anymore necessarily because they were all in Indiana. That's kind of out as well. Fiverr services, Adobe Creative Cloud, Planoly, G Suite, Squarespace, QuickBooks. And then this is more like travel stuff. So when I go to New York Fashion Week, like my meals, photo shoots, flights, hotels, Airbnbs, events, Uber, Lyft can all be counted towards. So that's how I further categorize all of my business expenses after I categorize them in the personal. And I have learned that you want to be as specific as possible with these, just so you really really know where they end up once you're filing your taxes, because that's not something I knew until I was doing my taxes for the first time, and then I was like, wow, I really do have to like hardcore categorize these. So that is how I keep myself organized. It has worked thus far for me, though I do hope that one of these days I don't have to be the one doing it, but you know, sometimes you gotta save some money and do it yourself. So that is what I do. Anyway, today I do have some sewing I want to do, but I also have some computer work I want to do. I need to edit some videos, so I think I'm gonna start there, and then later today I might sew a little bit. I also think I might be meeting with a friend for coffee later, a new friend, which is really exciting. I've been trying to A, make new friends, but like B, just say yes to things. Not that I feel like I've ever been like a no person. Where are they? They're literally leaf blowing outside my window. Hold on. There's not even trees outside my window. I don't know why they freaking leaf blow all the time. Okay, anyway, I'm just gonna start editing because they're not gonna be stopping anytime soon. Okay, so it's about noon now, and I got that video, or like the podcast video, fully edited, and it is currently uploading, which I'm very excited about. I've been really slow at like editing all these podcasts that I've been filming. I think I have 4 fully filmed right now, and they're 4 like 1 hour each. So it takes a lot to go through it. And also while I'm going through it and editing like the different like camera angles on it, I'm also like trying to think of like which parts I want to clip down to make into like TikToks or Reels or whatever. And so I'm also like trying to really pay attention to what we're saying and trying to like think. So I just, you know, it's a lot. But I am hungry and I'm gonna make some food. I currently do have a decent amount of groceries, but I didn't like get a lot of different proteins. So I kind of already finished all of like my tofu, chicken, and all of that. And now I only have eggs as my source of protein. So I've been eating so many eggs. But yeah, I just have like a Mod Podge of random vegetables that I'm just going to throw into a pan and make a little egg moment with. I might put them into tortillas and make them tacos too. I don't know. We'll see. So I just ate and I need to finish getting dressed because I only got dressed on the top half because I had to film something. But I also wanted to share with you guys, because I don't think I put this on YouTube at all, but I recently did like a closet clean out because my friends and I are hosting a clothing swap here in LA soon. We don't have like a date, time, place super like set in stone just yet, but we are working on it. So I went through my closet because I have a pretty full closet and I was just curious. I was like, okay, what items can I get rid of? And to be honest, I really didn't have too many, but I still had a very full closet of clothes. I'm like, I wear the same 5 things every day. Like, how is this possible? So then I was like, oh, I have everything I've ever made in my closet as well. So then I started taking out everything I've ever made, like all my old high school stuff to stuff that I, you know, have had from my shop, whatever, like everything. I put it out and this is what my room looked like after that. And then I realized majority of my closet was just that. Like, I literally counted out every single piece in my closet and kind of like figured out how many pieces are secondhand, how many are old fast fashion, things that I've been gifted or things that I've made. And when I tell you like 35% of my closet was things I've made, which is like a hefty amount. So anyway, that being said, this is really the only section of clothes that I actually wear in my closet, like tops and bottoms. This side is just jackets and coats, and then at the bottom is just hangers. I don't have anything down here besides like obviously my shoes down there, and then all my dresses are over here just in this like one section, which like is crazy. I feel like I really did downsize a lot. But anyway, that being said, I moved all the stuff that I don't actually wear consistently that I've made, or things that I just like made in high school that I'm literally never gonna wear, and like put them in a box so they didn't take up space in my closet. But I wanted to share that because I just thought it was like crazy. That being said, I do need to actually put on bottoms. I think I might wear a skirt today. Do a little skirt moment. It's so interesting because it's starting to get, you know, a little bit warmer than it has been, obviously. It's like in the 60s now, which is really nice, but it still feels cold inside my apartment, even though it's like sunny and probably warm outside, but it just still feels so cold in my apartment. So I still have like the heater on, but then I'll step foot outside and I'm like sweating. So I just don't know how to dress nowadays. Because it's dry heat, it's like cold if you're not directly in the sun, but if you're directly in the sun, it is hot. So it's like, I feel like you just have to wear layers and kind of be prepared. So I'm trying to figure it out. I think this could be cute. I might wear my little like black boots with it and have like this going. I am going to a coffee shop with a new friend, which I think I mentioned earlier, but during Vlogmas, when I was vlogging every single day, I went to a little holiday party with a bunch of like sustainability people here in LA, which was so cute and so fun. It was at my friend Lauren's house, and one of the girls that was there is Delilah, who is also a sustainability creator, and I'm getting coffee with her to like actually like meet properly one-on-one, just because obviously it's harder when you're in like a group setting. But we talked quite a bit that night, so I'm excited to be able to just hang. We've been trying to for a while, and obviously like the holidays happen and New Year and all the things, so we're finally getting to it. So I'm getting coffee with her. She'll also be part of the clothing swap. So if you're in LA, make sure to follow me on Instagram so that you don't miss out when that happens, because that's gonna be so good. There's so many of us that are gonna be participating. That being said though, I think I'm gonna be leaving kind of soon. I'm gonna just finish up some more computer stuff that I have to do, then we'll head out and then we'll come back. And I don't know if we're gonna continue on with the day or what time I'm gonna come back, but we'll see. So I just got back and it's like 5:30. So realistically, am I gonna be doing work right now? No. But I did want to update you guys. One, it was just so fun to like meet with a new-ish friend. Like, it's so funny. We talked about the fact that when you are mutually friends on social media, you know so much about each other already that you just kind of like skip the small talk and like get straight into it, which is really nice because you know, we get to skip the whole like, where are you from? And like blah, blah, blah. Like we just straight into it. So it was quite nice. I feel so like re-inspired after talking to her, just because it's so nice to get perspective on things and just like relate, and I just feel great. But anyway, on a completely other side note, it was really funny because we were sitting outside and there's this guy behind us, and when we got up to leave, he stopped me and he was like, hey, like I overheard you say that you went to FIT, and I was like, yeah, I did. And he was like, I went there too, like many years ago. He was an older guy, and he was like, I have a whole like network of alumni from there that are here, and we like, you know, do things sometimes, whatever, like would love to add you in. And I was like, absolutely, add me in. But it's just like crazy that things like that can just like happen here. Like I feel like if you're in the right place at the right time, you just like end up making connections, like whether you want to or not, whether you're like looking for it or not. So I just think that's really cool, because it's like moments like that that I moved to LA for, because I know I would never ever have that in Indiana. So it's like when I say like for networking and meeting people, like that's exactly the kind of stuff I talk about, and it's just insane that that just happened, because I wasn't like directly talking to him or anything. He just literally overheard me say FIT or whatever, and he stopped me and was just like, hey. And also the fact that people are so willing to connect and help each other out and just like network, I also think is really cool, because I think a lot of people have talked about LA negatively in that aspect and how people gatekeep and whatever, but all of my experiences have been everybody wanting to help each other out. And like sometimes I feel weird about asking people to help me out on things or do things for me because they are a connection but they're also a friend. But I have also realized that that's just how things are here, and that's how people do it. And if people asked me for something, I would gladly help them as well. So it's just like very interesting, but I'm just very content with that being the place that I'm in life, where I can make connections and just like also make good friends and have a good time. It's just crazy how life works. That being said, I feel like this vlog is a little chatty, might be a little long, so I might end it there for tonight, but I feel good just like catching up with you guys, sharing some more like BTS of the business side of things, because I feel like a lot of you guys are business owners as well, and it's just nice to also have that chat with you guys outside of just like fashion and sewing too. So hopefully you got something out of it. I'll have the rapid receipt scanner down below for you guys to check out. It literally is such a lifesaver. I love Epson, all their products, but this one's really, really good for business, especially if you are a small business. And I know that a lot of you are, so check it out. You will not regret it. And that being said, I think I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.